welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Louise Delise, artist and teacher. On this channel you'll find drawing and painting tutorials designed to help you improve your own practice. In today's lesson, lesson 3, we'll be learning how to create a simple landscape. For this we'll be using our Willow charcoal. We'll also be using powdered charcoal and a soft brush. Please refer to other videos if you'd like to know how to make your own powdered charcoal. So let's start by loading up the brush with the powdered. For this I'm using a sable brush. Sable brushes are beautifully soft. They're able to hold a lot of charcoal. So we start just by touching the paper with the brush, not being too concerned at this stage of where we're placing the marks. We're just getting some information down. We know that the clouds are going to be top half of the picture frame, so this is a good place to start. The clouds are going to be darker towards the top, and we're going to get gradually lighter in tone as we work down. Again, not getting caught up too much at this stage. This is just our initial introduction to the paper. So you can see we're starting to create some interesting shapes here. And that's, again, what we're working with. We're working with shapes. We're not viewing these as clouds as such. We're viewing them as interesting shapes. So we're going to continue on placing the sky area. Being mindful at this stage of where we are putting the darkest tones and the lighter tones. Now we're starting to get into the drawing a little bit, starting to get a feel for it. And just bring that tone lighter as we work on down. And instead of getting more charcoal on the brush, you'll notice I'm taking it from the top of the page where we've put the darkest tones on, as opposed to going back and getting fresh charcoal each time. This is a really good way when you're learning to use charcoal, learning its capabilities. This is the best way to learn. To place down some darks, take away from that. Use that colour somewhere else within the work. And it's a constant, working all the sky area, letting the clouds come forth. Here we're introducing the eraser, so take away some of that colour in view to creating the illusion of that light bursting through the clouds there. Add a little bit more drama to this sky. Again, still using the eraser here, we'll come in and we'll just take out a few light areas, create some contrast. Working all the sky. Occasional blend, working the charcoal into the paper, so creating a mix of blended areas, leaving some areas textured. Here just bringing up a little bit of that charcoal, creating a little bit of form here, giving the illusion of form. Again, only loosely. We'll be coming constantly back to this area. Making changes if and when we need to as we go, as the drawing evolves. But once you get a feel for where the lightest lights are coming from, go ahead and indicate those. And there's light there behind this cloud, bursting through. And we're just making this up as we go along. You know, I don't really have many rules in art. I don't believe there is any great rules to follow. But there is one guideline that I like to follow, and that's if it looks right, it is right. And if something troubles you, then we need extra work on it. So I think we're almost here where we could suggest that the sky is working for us. And we will come back to it, like I've said, throughout the drawing. But it's best now to continue on. Let's get a approximate horizon line, and if you like, and for this we're going to be putting in some mountains. Let's just loosely place them. Again, not getting caught up too much in details. We're just placing the large shapes wherever you think they should go. Use your instinct to help you place these large objects. Don't overthink it. Okay, so now we've got some textural areas. Now you'll notice that that texture is giving the illusion of the mountains being more forward. So we want to knock them back a little bit by coming in here with a bit of a blend. And then we'll come back in and put some textural qualities on top of that blend. Create a little bit more interest. Coming back in with the charcoal and layering that when we need to. If we feel as if we're getting too dark, we just come in there, bit of a blend. Take the very top layer of the charcoal off. Backwards and forwards all the time learning what we're doing as we endeavour to try and create some depth within this landscape that we're creating. So we've placed quite heavily there that the point at which the land, the fields are meeting the mountains. You can see that's quite dark, but I want you to observe now as we're just starting to pop some trees in this at the back here. So break up that sharpness of the line. And you see that just with a finger there blending, just to give the illusion of leaves. If we were to go in here now and place tiny little leaves in it, you'd totally ruin the drawing. There's no need to do that at all, especially this is in the background. So we don't really want a great deal of detail in the background. we don't want to turn these marks into little show ponies where they're demanding attention. You know, the details really should come at the front. So let's go in here, continue to place some trees. Now the first three were spaced not too differently apart, so with this fourth tree here we'll place this a little bit further along just to give some more interest there in terms of space between these little trees here. Not much to them, just an indication, couple of marks to say yes, here I am a tree in the background here. Now, do you see what happens as soon as I've put that paddock in there, shall we say? See how those lines of those paddocks are giving the illusion of more depth within the work, purely at the angle to which we've placed them. You can add to that illusion by using tonal value. Little indication of some shadows there on these trees, just an indication, that's all it is. And as we start to add some tonal value to these paddocks at the sides here, you'll notice how that's creating depth to this, what really will be quite a simple landscape. But by using the charcoal effectively to create interest, you can see how it's really very, very easy to do with Willow. It's simply a lovely medium. I know I say this a lot, but it is. It's just wonderful, and this is why it's perfect for beginners. You know, it's so forgiving. If you put something in the wrong place, you can literally just come in, slide across it with the finger, hence the mark is gone, and then you can start again. You know, there's not many mediums in drawing and that are so forgiving. This is the best medium for beginners, without a doubt. And it's something that I really encourage you to start to engage with. It's so much fun, and you can learn so much through tonal value by using charcoal. As I said before, creating space within a work, creating form is all about tonal value. We're just adding a little bit of texture back onto those mountains, just in areas. We don't want to come across there with a thick black line defining the edge of the mountain. We want to create lost and found areas. Now in the foreground, I think we'll put in some grapevines here in a moment. So let's just give an indication of where this paddock is, and we're going to start with these grapevines. Again, just very light, very loose at this stage. What would happen if I put them there? Is it going to work? I think so. I think that would work. What do you think? Is this a viable idea? And if it's not, just get rid of the vines and put them somewhere else. That's the beauty of it. So just imagine the vines there for a moment. Okay, so just going back just a little bit, let's place 2 or 3 trees in here, in this area. Now these trees will be slightly bigger than the trees that we placed at the back, because these trees are closer to us as we're looking at them. So in terms of perspective, by making these trees slightly larger in size, darker in tone, yeah, we'll perceive them as being closer to us. Those attributes, of course, are in relation to one another, in that we could quite easily work from darks. In the background, the trees could be lighter, hence the illusion would be the same. But that's what this process is all about, learning how to do that, how to perceive things as being forward, how we perceive them as being backwards. Playing around here. Let's just... Here I am a tree. It's very loose. Have fun doing this. When you're having fun with your drawing, that's when you're learning the most. And that's when you're triggering the creative side of your brain. You're engaging with it. And hence you're not actually thinking about the technicalities of it. The human brain is more than capable of understanding the composition aspects, the perspective aspects. You don't need to think about any of that much. We'll briefly touch on them, but all you have to do is trust yourself, trust your instincts. If it looks right, it is right. If it's not right, get rid of it and start again. Move it across to the left a little, to the right a little. You'll get there sooner or later, until the process will become instinctively to you. You'll be using that area of your brain. So enjoy it. Enjoy the creation process, and allow the drawing to reveal itself to you. Trust yourself. Wherever you think it should go is where it should go. Just working up these trees just a little bit more. Here I am, yes, I'm a tree. And once we've placed these trees in positions that we're relatively happy with, we've got a good feeling that, okay, yeah, that works, we can leave them there. Just coming in there with the eraser, just to get some lights there, to perceive it as coming more forward. See how I did that there? See how I'm I'm doing this, moving things around by using the lightness and the darkness. As I think we're almost done with this section, we can look at coming back to these paddocks, getting those mapped out a little bit more. Where should they be? How is the eye picking that up? How is the eye now perceiving this landscape? Okay, so at this stage, let's come in and place these grapevines. Remembering, this is your world, and these grapevines can be any way that you would like them to be. So just start very loosely, just indicating where they should go. Don't get caught up in them being perfect and equally spaced. Just get the information down. Here I am. I'm a grapevine, because we're going to be coming back in and reworking it and refining it as we go. So as we look, let's imagine this in perspective. So as we place the vines to the left and the right, there will be a shift in the angle that we're placing each row of vines, simply because of perspective. But again, don't get caught up too much in that. Wherever you think they should go, if it looks right, it is right. If it troubles you, change it slightly. Just go ahead and loosely place these in. As we come back in with the second layer of charcoal here, that's all be giving more attention to tonal value, how we can put the darks at the beginning of the rows of each vine and coming lighter as the vine comes toward us, to give that illusion of depth, of space, of something being in the background and something being closer to us. Now let's start to work up the foreground. We're going to place some regular bushes here to the right and to the left, create a little bit of balance. You can see the tone is darker. That is giving the illusion that these bushes are at the front in relation to how we're using the lights and darks in the context of this landscape that we're doing today. We'll just loosely place these marks. We're looking for still a degree of variety within the tone. Creating some balance, intermittently going back to that section, creating a little bit more tone. Now I'm coming back into the sky with the eraser, putting a few more lights in, being guided by the darkness at the front. That's providing a nice sense of balance to give us an overall feel for the work. Where do we need to put some more lights? And we'll just go ahead and we'll place those in, creating more interest to these cloud formations. Before finally coming right into the immediate foreground of this work now. And we're going to put in some long grass, long sweeping grass. Again, darks, mediums, creating some depth. And then we'll be using the eraser to give the indication of some flowers here, right at the foreground. Before coming back onto the clouds, taking a little bit of darkness off these clouds. Now we'll look and see the whole work for what it is. We can see the big picture. So now is the time to make any final adjustments, final refinements, as we take away a little bit more of this willow to create slightly lighter tones, so that we're keeping the sky in the background. Still darker as we go up in tone to indicate these clouds being closer to us. Well, I think we've done what we needed to with this landscape today. I hope you've learned something from it. And I think we can call this one done. Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave me a thumbs up. And we'll see you next week. This is a 10-week drawing course. So stay with me